Star Wars fans. Obviously I'm just driving home from Event 2 of the Naboo League, which has been an amazing day. If you get the chance to play Star Wars cards for real, you gotta jump on it. It is the best thing ever. Just a group of guys having a laugh, talking about Star Wars, playing some Star Wars cards. The place we were at today was great. Nice big shop, loads of room, tables. The highlight for me is there's a Domino's around the corner, so just put your order in and Domino's arrive, which I haven't had for ages, so that was great. But yeah, so I thought I'd do my kind of tournament report while I'm just driving home now. I've not got far to go home yet, so the next few days I know I'm going to be chocker, so I'll do it now, and then I'm going to try and do another one next week to kind of wrap it all up, which will be to show you my prize report, which I was super happy to get, and I got some other stuff as well that was from the PC. So going into today, like I said in one of the earlier posts, there was 5 of us, so 6 is the magic number, so you don't have to have a bye, but there we go. So we all had a bye, which was kind of cool. It was nice just to kind of have 5 minutes actually and just watch the other guys play decks that I hadn't seen for a bit, and just chat to them about what they were thinking, strategy and stuff with decks that I don't normally play, like OA. I mentioned earlier as well that in the first 2 games, I played Darkside Revenge of the Sith against Watch Your Step, which it couldn't have gone any smoother really. I open-handed the hand, the invisible hand, Trench, a command, Darth Sidious, and some other just generic. I played double back, 2 double backs in it. So you play double back to get 4 long, and then I used Crush the Rebellion to keep cycling I Have You Now, just to cycle your cards, which worked brilliantly all day. There was one game where I didn't get him to on the table till turn 3, I think it was, which was a shame, but it was still worked out really well. Although I think it was doing people's heads in every turn. Get I Have You Now, and then put it back, recirculate, activate, grab I Have You Now, put it back. But it worked well for me. Game 2, I was my WAP deck versus Kev's Watto, which, if there's a deck I hate playing against, it's Watto for Darkside. And I looked out because in the first turn, when Kev pinged me for 2 damage, I top decked a Rebel Leadership and Qui-Gon Serene Jedi, but I had Unite V in my hand, and I also had a Clash. So he did his usual Watto Sebulba, ping for 2, move Sebulba over, drew half a dozen cards. I was expecting him to play, I just assumed Kiss and Wookiee. He saved 3 Force and was playing Wipe. So he saved 2 Force, he was playing Wipe, so he activated a 3rd one. But I'd activated 9 Force, so I thought, no guts, no glory. So 5 Force, drop Qui-Gon. I had his Saber in my hand already, so I deployed that. No barrier, no Wookiee, no nothing. Swing, hit. Oh no, that was it. I initiated battle, and Kev reacted with Tempest Scout 6, which I should have known he was going to have something. Sadly, I didn't have the React Canceller, and so I swing, hit Watto, and then clashed him, and then Kev lost Sebulba, left Sebulba, and then I paid 1 Force to move Qui-Gon from the junkyard to Mos Espa and save a couple of Force. And Kev's next turn puts a walker down. I think might have been Ozzel. Tries to pick me for 2, which he did. I didn't want to pay. Can't remember what I lost. But obviously he put a card back. My next turn, I dropped Obi-Wan. General Kenobi, gave him a lightsaber, battled again, cleared the site, and then consolidated the 2 Jedi at Mos Espa again. And that was pretty much the kind of it for Tatooine for battling. At one point I deployed Ahsoka with lightsabers just to reinforce, because he ended it with Blizzard 8, Blizzard Scout 1, 2 guys. He had that Gamorrean guard where I was trying to drain for 3 and he just loses a force, which is really strong. Like, that's super powerful. You're losing 1 force instead of 3, which at the end of the game really kind of turned the tide, really, because I did that at least 4 times during the game, and then we came to time at the end of the game and Kev was ahead by like 6 force, so that could have obviously been the decider. Couldn't quite get him out of space. He kept just putting high forfeit Imperials on the Vengeance. I just couldn't crack it enough. Even with the 2 Destiny draws, I got like 6. And he had Tarkin, so he just pitched Tarkin. So that was a bit frustrating. But yeah, so Kev won that game. Game 3, I had the bye. Game 4, I played my Revenge of the Sith against Paul McPherson's EBO, which was going well. Turn 1, Tyrannus to the 4th marker. He just sat there pretty much all game draining for 2. And I was just drawing loads and loads of cards. I had a massive hand because I wanted to build up a decent enough space package to just be able to hang in space. I knew I was going to get pummeled because it's EVO. But at one point, he only had a couple of ships. He had like 2 ships out, which was Obi and Radiant 7 with Solo on it, and Bright Hope with Luke and Admiral Radis. And he split them, and I should have realised that was a trap. So my space package, I dropped the hand. I had Grievous, Boba Fett V, and Trench all on the hand at the locations already. I played Thrawn V onto the hand as a pilot, and then moved, and also Dr. Evazan Ponda Baba just for the forfeit fodder. And then I moved the 3 guys from the locations to space. So I had like 13 power, 2 destinies, and then I made the fatal mistake of drawing and just saving 1 card. But I'm not sure if I spent pretty much all my force deploying those things. I only had 1 force left. So what does he do? He deploys Gold Leader Gold 1. So now I'm only getting 1 destiny, and then he puts Tarn, Meeson, and Proton Torpedoes on it, and Green Leader in his A-Wing that adds a 2nd destiny and cancels the immunity to attrition of my starship. So no immunity, no forfeit on my guys, completely cleared my ship and all those characters, and I think it was 5 overflow. So I'd like spent my entire turn deploying all that stuff, and then it just got wiped out the next turn, which was super frustrating. And that was kind of the game then. One other mistake I made was that had knocked me back onto 2 battlegrounds instead of 3. So I obviously had capped his 2 drains. But I deployed Darth Sidious to the 4th marker, thinking I'll move Darth Tyrannus to the generator core just to get the drain of 3 and potentially march them in to the Echo sites, because he only had 1 guy in there. but that meant I wasn't on 3 battlegrounds. So his next turn, instead of draining me for 4, drained me for 6. And then at that point, it was one of those games where we were both paying to drain, but I wasn't doing just quite enough because I'd already taken like 5, I think it was 7 overflow in the space battle. I just didn't quite have enough force to pay to drain, because I had a drain of 2 and then 2 drains of 1 because he projectioned my sight, so I didn't have 9 force to pay for those drains and do stuff to stop him. So he ended up shuttling just dudes down to the 4th marker. I managed to scrap 3 times there, once with Sidious and the 9th sister, so his destiny was 0, cleared the site, but then he just drained for 4 and shuttled 2 more guys down. Then he put Dash in Rogue 12 and shuttled Poe down on board it. But in my hand, I'd 3PO'd for Pride, and then my 2 destinies were 2 6s. So I was dead chuffed to myself setting that up. So cleared the site again, and then the next turn he lands over Obi-Wan in Radiant 7, which had Solo and Luke in it. They both get out, and even swinging, hitting Luke, making him forfeit 0, I needed to draw 8 from 2 battle destinies, and I got 6, I think it was. It's just not enough, and then he obviously paid. He didn't have to pay the next turn to drain me for 4, and that was pretty much game then. I was down to like 6 or 8 life force, couldn't do anything, and he still had enough to drain me like 2 more turns, so that was that game. Then my next game was against Kev. I was playing my Revenge of the Sith again against his Legend, which was pretty cool. He just deployed like a load of guys, and crowning moment of the day, he had Rey with Anakin's lightsaber, Lor San Tekka, Rose, and Hera, and I deployed General Grievous with nearly missed my turn in then. General Grievous and Darth Tyrannus, put a lightsaber on Dooku, initiate battle. He flips his objective, so I can't shoot anything. I think I might have deployed Dengar as well. I just totally forgot about the no firing weapons part. But it's like, yeah, fair enough. Actually, I didn't deploy Dengar. But this is the best bit. I weapon left Rey's lightsaber onto General Grievous, and then he drew a 5, so I had to lose Grievous for attrition. He only lost, I think it was like a Rose or Hera, because she's got like ridiculous forfeit. And then it was sort of backwards and forth, just he was draining me for 2, I was draining him for 2, managed to get my space package, whereas I just held in space for like 4 turns, which was, I managed to clear him off the ground, and I was draining for 3 and 3 for like 2 or 3 turns, but he just put a Jedi Ray down at my Naboo 3-2 site. I tracked the 6 around to clear her 1 turn, and then he put another one down. And the second time Aura Singh went up against her, I had a 6 and a 4, and I knew the 6 was on top, so declined to shoot, and then he played I think I can handle myself. So she would have been immune to attrition, so I had to shoot her to get her off that site, because otherwise I was going to take 3 damage, and he's still got Rey on the table, force draining, and yeah, so shot her, but then I didn't get through her destiny, and annoyingly I ended up taking 5 overflow in a battle that I had initiated just to clear Rey, so I lost like essentially 6 force instead of 3. Maybe I should have waited a turn, but hey ho. And that kind of sealed it from there on then. just couldn't quite push enough damage through. He put Lando and Poe in space, so he started drawing 3 destinies, totally cleared me out. That was it. Then the next game, so I played. Oh man, I'm going blank now. So I played Revenge of the Sith against Watch Your Step. I played WAP against Watto. I played Revenge of the Sith against No Idea. I played Revenge of the Sith against EBO. I had the bye. Oh, and then my last game was against Justin Branch, who I've spoken to Justin on Slack and stuff. I never actually met him in person, so that was cool. What a nice guy. He's super chatty, super friendly. But in the last game against him, he was playing 12 card CCT, asking for a rebel, which was hilarious. It was kind of like the old school egg, but against WAP I have no rebels, so his objective flips immediately. He gets to scan through my deck, and obviously his egg is useless, and he was trying to find his activation because you can't deploy the audience chamber. Basically, turn 1, I deployed Amidala and just moved her into the hallway. He had quite a sizable hand, so I was sort of semi-nervous about a spy. Of course, he did have one. He deployed Aurica and Forlom with concussion rifle. We battle, he cancels a text. I thought it was a bit of a risky play. I'd open-handed Ascension Guns. He could have grabbed it, but I played Ascension Guns, checked the 2 destinies as a 1 and a 4, so I take the 1, which was character, knowing that the 4 is enough to clear Aurica, so we can't move her into the throne room. But yeah, so Queen dies, Aurica dies, he moves Forlom into the audience chamber. My turn 2, I had drawn into Unitar again, so I Unitar, get the Queen back, redeploy her, move her in, and then just drew a massive hand, and it was pretty much like a load of characters. His next turn, he didn't deploy any characters, he just drew like loads of stuff. So my turn, Queen goes in. Actually, I didn't deploy the Queen on my second turn. I deployed Qui-Gon Jedi Master, moved him in, and then that was it. So then I used my hallway, pulled out Ascension Guns, played it, moved Qui-Gon in, deployed the Queen, deployed Obi, deployed Din Djarin. He puts down Dr. Evazan, Ponda Baba, and another character, which I'm not sure if it was Dengo with Blaster Carbine at that point. It was definitely a character with a weapon anyway. And then he passes his turn. I deployed Ahsoka with lightsaber, Captain Panaka, initiate a battle. He had first strike out, which I did retrieve the Force, but I later lost it in the spirit of fair play because he pulled the coward shield. He played Stunning Leader. Next turn, he deploys more guys, passes. On my turn, I clash Greedo. He deployed Kylo and Greedo, so I clash Greedo because he doesn't battle. Then on my turn, I clash Greedo, go to battle. He plays Stunning Leader again. Then on his turn, that turn of his, he played Kylo. Initiated a battle. Kylo missed with a swing. Dengar missed with 2 shots. Dooku Force Lightning Din. But I hit everybody bar Dooku and Forlom had to stay. No, Forlom went, but Greedo was still there because he'd been clashed, that was it. So then on his turn, he just drew up another big hand. And he didn't realise that Greedo was still going to be clashed. It was one of them where I'd clashed him in my turn, but then we didn't battle because he stun and leaded it, and then because he battled, and there was loads of things going on, it was like Kylo swings at Obi, Blaster Deflection, Obi-Wan hits Kylo, he plays Lana, Dengar shoots Panaka, I played First Aid combo. It's just one of those battles where like I played Rebel Leadership to add a second battle destiny. I hit Dengar. I hit someone else, Dr. P, Dr. Ian Ponderbaba. And it's just, one of the turns that feels like a lot's happened. So then when it came around to my next turn, he thought Greedo wasn't clashed and he hadn't moved Dooku away. And then I just battled into him. He didn't have the Gick, and I had like 6 characters, so he just scooped at that point, which was a shame. It's one of them things we were laughing about it, that if it was on Gemp or Jemp, it would have lit up, or he could have just clicked on him and seen, oh, can he move yet or not? So he would have moved Dooku away, he said. And then he showed me his hand after, and he had a stack characters. I still had loads of characters in my hand. So that was fun. He scooped and I win. And that was the end of the day. So Kevin was the winner for today on 10 points. And then I believe it was Justin and Paul both drew, then myself, and then Pete. So it has been an epic day. It was amazing, and I've really enjoyed it. Definitely, if you get the chance to play Star Wars in real life, go for it, because it's the best thing ever. Anyway, I'm signing off now because I'm shattered and I want my tea. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Paul, for arranging a great day. Kev for making all the amazing foils, which I will show you guys on the next video. Until then, may the force be with you, and take care.